What is the bona fide marriage requirement for green card marriage purposes? I'm Attorney Pandeli, and we're here at the law offices of Alien Attorney. And let me first start by diving into what bona fide or bona fide means from Latin or from Italian nowadays. Bona fide means good faith. And so another word for it is it a valid marriage? Was the marriage entered in good faith, or was the marriage entered for the purposes of gaining an immigration benefit, such as a green card? And there are quite a few factors, and maybe there's thousands of things that USCIS looks at. And so it's a very tricky requirement, but what I will attempt to describe in this particular video is what are the big buckets that they look at? What are the broad categories that they look at? And then within those categories, what are some of the different examples which you can offer that would help your case, okay? And let's start with a fundamental requirement, which is there proof of cohabitation? And so you have to, so first and foremost, you have to think about, it's not just about having a real marriage, but it's also about proving the real marriage. And so then when you go into the psychology of it, you really need to think about, well, what do married couples do? And what you will find is that if you look at real married couples, what you will notice is that they live together, they commingle finances together, typically, although there are some exceptional cases. They have children together a lot of times, although they don't have to. There is a proof of publicity, so marriage is a public commitment, and so then there's publicity to the outside world, and then to friends and family and things like that. And then there is proof of the intimacy. There's proof of ongoing communication and a relationship. And so married couples do things together. And married couples have, in addition to that, there's also proof of property. And so let me dive into each of these different requirements. And so the first one, let me discuss the proof of cohabitation. Okay, so what are some of the things? Well, the first one is you live together. And so you share the same household, you have the same set of keys, you have driver's licenses in the same location, you have TV bills, cell phone bills, you have sometimes even junk mail going to the same address, trash pickup, all of these types of things, right? You have, there is, there's other things like, for example, TV or satellite or dish, utility type bills that go into the same address, right? And so that's generally your cohabitation requirement, and there's a lot of other things that you can put in there, but this is just to give you an example, because there's literally it could be thousands of things, and it's very nuanced, right? It's very specific. So the second requirement, proof of financial commingling. So proof of financial commingling is typically established by providing proof of, do you have a common bank account? Do you have joint credit card accounts? Do you have sometimes joint investment accounts? Is there evidence of financial transfers oftentimes? Are you opening a business venture together, although you don't need to? And so just think about what married couples share in terms of their finances. And then later down the road, when you have the ability, do you have married filing jointly, taxes? Or at the very least, married filing separately? It's not a requirement because many people don't have children, but if you do have children, or if you're attempting to have kids, it's a really good indication that, listen, this is a real marriage, and a child is a further commitment of your marriage. And so you know, if you have children's birth certificates or, you know, children that were born of the marriage, you know, that is some great proof of it. Or, you know, sometimes it's fertility records, it's things like that, and anything that you can offer. The next requirement is proof of intimacy. Do you do things together? Do you go to the movies? Do you go to restaurants and keep your receipts? Have you traveled together? Do you join common, you know, memberships or clubs, or, you know, sometimes the gym? So the proof of intimacy also, you can engulf and encompass into the proof of intimacy the fact that you had a wedding and there's pictures of the wedding and what was that wedding like, and you know, you might have like different receipts of the wedding and things like that. You have in addition to that, there's the proof of publicity, and that's for, you know, having friends and family and people that know you. And so marriage, like I mentioned earlier, marriage is a public commitment. And so, and one of the, you will notice that one of the negative indicators in the adjudicator's field manual, which is the manual that USCIS uses, states that a negative indicator is, or negative proof is, when there is little publicity about a couple's marriage. And so, you know, things that could help here is your friends and family, or sometimes acquaintances, or sometimes it could be your pastor or what have you, them providing sworn statements, affidavits that they know you and they can vouch for your relationship, and, you know, that kind of gives it publicity. Other times, you know, people, we do a lot of these cases, and so, you know, one of the things we talk about is, well, what about social media? You know, what's your contact on social media and things like that, because that gives the relationship a public nature, because marriage is a public statement to the world. And so these are broadly some of the different buckets that can be used for proving that your marriage is bona fide or bona fide. It's valid, in other words. Again, every case is different and every case is nuanced, so no two cases are alike, and so it's hard to say exactly what facts would work in each case. If you have any questions, you can post them in the comments, or you can reach us out through our website and our phone number. And lastly, I mean, it's if you need help, or you're not sure about something, talk to us, you know, or talk to an attorney at the very least. Yeah, it would be nice if it was us, but at the very least, you have peace of mind in terms of what you're doing. You sleep well at night. Thank you for watching.